Another day, another dollar. It's O.T.G. Overtime grind. O.T.G. Daily Dot News. OTGHelps.com. SupplyToWork.com. Stay there until you come up. It's overtime grind, and I'm O.T.G. It's been an eventful couple days, man. Very, very, very eventful. Between the election happening and all these different things going on. You know, today, our rapper King Von got killed in Atlanta. He's from Chicago originally. And, you know, with COVID ramping back up, you got the elections, we got all these things going on. You know, you just sit back and kind of watch and look at things. And now that I'm older, so I'm originally from Illinois, you know what I mean? And, you know, I got my own affiliations and things that I grew up doing and you know, got a name for. And first off, when you see so many people coming on YouTube having conversations and they from different places and they not really from the Midwest or really from where that whole thing started, you know what I mean? It's a lot of misinformation and people just saying a lot of different things without even understanding because they watch some videos or they got information from other young guys and things like that. But this been going on there for a very long time, you know what I mean? And it coincides kind of with Joe Biden and the crime bill and police and just everything that's kind of going on. So, you know, a quick back history is, you know, the gangs started after everybody came from the South. Like my family, they migrated from the South. My mom was born in Louisville, my dad, Oklahoma. My dad's from Chicago. And we from the middle, Champaign, you know what I mean? It's kind of where everything happened. My mom met my dad in Milwaukee and kind of came down. So if you're from the Midwest, you understand, you know, Wisconsin, you know, Detroit, you know, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, that general area right there, Kansas, it's a different type of place, man, because, you know, just by the way, the dynamics of how the states are, they real open, they real flat. It's a lot of small towns. And when you think about when black people came from the South, you know, Chicago was founded by a black man, St. Louis too. So that in itself, and then you got a bunch of Irish and different people who came and settled there, you know, it has always been tension between the police, gangs, and the mob. It's just how the history of the Midwest works, you know what I mean? The police work for the mob, and black people just had issues with both sides, you know what I mean? Racism, segregation, all these different things. So when the gangs were created, they was one big group. It wasn't like a separate group of people and then they just started beefing and all this bullshit. That's not the history. It was one group. They were all together. And then as the government started to get wind and drugs started to infiltrate and, you know, the government started putting drugs in communities and guns in communities and starting to understand how to split up the black home and cause distrust between black people in the late 60s, the gangs split. So you have, you know, GDs, BDs, Vice Lords, Mickey Cobras, Blackstones, Four Corner Hustlers. You have all these derivatives, but at one time they was all one thing. And what it was one thing to protect black people in our neighborhoods from the police. That was the original reason why gangs were made, because you could not, if there was something that went on in your neighborhood and you called the cops was worse than the criminals. They was coming, they was raping people, they was stealing, they was doing all kinds of things. So black people did not feel safe calling the police. So people in the neighborhood began to police the neighborhoods. And you had to identify the neighborhoods by sections, who had control and who was the person, the people, the groups who controlled those neighborhoods to make sure they were safe. So a lot of guys out here talking this, that, and the third, they don't know the history. They don't know how it started. And it's really what should be happening in a lot of places. I don't know if you want to call it gangs, but definitely black men should be policing their own neighborhoods because we still cannot trust the police. We still are unfairly policed. We still are unfairly sentenced. We still need prison reform, policing reform, sentence reform. There's all of these things that still aren't in place for criminal justice and black neighborhoods. And the people who are upholding the justice and are supposed to be protecting and serving aren't good people for the most part when it comes to black people. So I hear people say that a whole lot. There's a lot of good cops. There might be millions of good cops, but they might not be the right person to go into these neighborhoods. And they never dealt with black people. They never dealt with black problems. They have no understanding of how to talk to people, how the neighborhood works, what's respect, what's disrespect. They just don't know. So with that, do for self and taking care of your own people, it was the responsibility of people from that neighborhood to handle and take care of the crimes and stop things in the neighborhood. So essentially, what you still are seeing is people policing themselves. Oh, you said something about my sister? Oh, I'm going to come see you about that. Oh, you going to do what to my brother? I'm going to come see you about that, because the option of calling the police and then you might go to jail, because where I'm from, that's how that happens. You call the cops run your name, they find some stupid ass shit, make some shit up on you. Next thing you know, you going to jail because you was trying to be a good Samaritan and call for help, and they just trying to put people in beds, fill up the jails. Private prisons. Illinois got a lot of prisons. And if you don't understand the fabric of Illinois, I was born in 1980. All the governors in my lifetime are in federal prison except for one. All of them. So the state itself is already built off corruption and different things. Blagojevich was trying to sell Barack Obama's Senate seat when he became the president. They literally got him on the phone calling people, trying to sell his seat in the Senate for bread, happily bragging about it. So when you understand this is how the fabric of the state works, when you understand where most of the black people come, people say Chicago and Atlanta, it's married. A lot of y'all don't understand that because you're from a different place. And when you go to Atlanta, you see one thing and everybody talks slow. Everybody got accent. Everybody do this. Everybody do that. So to you coming from the East Coast, you coming from wherever you come from, they all ATLians. But the reality is that is like the first stop from people from Illinois. They go to Atlanta. Memphis and Atlanta. That's just how that works. That's about as low as they go. So the people from Atlanta come to Chicago, Memphis, and places like that. So the demographic of people from Atlanta and people from Chicago, Champaign, Peoria, Bloomington, East St. Louis, Carbondale, Illinois, Decatur, Illinois, all of these towns, and Atlanta, it's just like this. So the culture of Atlanta and Chicago are damn near one culture, because all of our families, us black people from there, all of our families came from the South. So half of my family's from Atlanta. My sister's been living in Atlanta since my dad moved them there in the 80s or 90s. I lived in Atlanta, right behind the 285 flea market, right off Glenwood and Austin. So, that's just kind of how it works, man. And how the gangs and all that works. It's just a continuation of what our fathers did, what their fathers started. What their fathers started, our fathers built. If you're my age, our fathers built it. And then it's just been passed down. But it's a lot more reckless and crazier because you have social media, because a lot of guys, once you got Joe Biden's crime bill that came in the 90s, I was 14 in 94. So when that crime bill came in 97, 96, 97, they made it where you could be 17 and be charged as an adult. Well, if you know the numbers of Joe Biden's crime bill, he was giving $3.7 billion to each state to build private prisons. So, and Chicago is the #1 false confession capital of the world, where the cops are beating people, kidnapping people, putting them and holding them in detention centers that are abandoned buildings, forced confessions, and it's not really, they don't even know what the fuck is going on. Chicago is also known to have trailers of semis just pulled up, the trailer dropped off, and it's unlocked, filled with guns. It's also rumored, allegedly, that Chicago has drugs by the tons just dropped off randomly in random places. It's also rumored that the gangs don't do all of the killing in Chicago, that the police do a lot of the killing in Chicago, and it's a lot of black market body parts being sold of black people. A lot of black people don't ever have they never have funerals. A lot of people claim that they wanted to put their kids in a casket, but they ended up getting them cremated, so you don't know if they had their organs or if they didn't have their organs. So there's a whole lot more going on with the communities trying to police themselves and stay away from the outside communities, because you live under the foot of oppression there in the first place. Like, I live in Philly now. It's 40, I just seen it the other day, it's like 44.7% black. So you living in a city where it's mostly black people. Well, where I'm from, it's like 10% black. So white people is niggas, Mexicans is niggas. You all treated the same if you lived on this side of the tracks. Now, you could be a black person, this person, and try to move over to the other side, but they still going to treat you like you don't belong. So most of the time, people just stay where they know, and they build where they know. They take care of where they know. They become the man where they know, and they maneuver that way. So that mentality, and not wanting to call the cops, not working with the police, a lot of people being mass incarcerated from 94 to 97 to 99. You know, there was 800,000 cops put on the streets from 94 to 2000. So when you take a lot of those guys out, a lot of my peers went to prison, and they just coming home in the last 4 or 5 years from the late 90s. So when you take the big brothers out, you take the fathers out, and now you just got a lot of women in these low-income housing. They tear down the projects. They scatter the gangs all over the city. So now you have young guys who was raised seeing their fathers uphold some kind of system in their neighborhood to try to keep the neighborhood safe and keep the ops out of the neighborhood. If somebody robbed your house, then you could call so-and-so and they'll go handle the business. If so-and-so put the gun on your brother, then you could call so-and-so and they'll go handle the business. You don't gotta call the cops. Your neighborhood would take care of you. They understand and know these laws. They just try and carry the torch. But with nobody to really guide them. And then you enter the internet. Then you enter these crazy pills and different drugs. And then you enter record labels trying to exploit it for money. Then they put a name on it. Then they just, you get different YouTubers out here trying to exploit it for personal gain. What you get is what we have right now. And really, to be honest, it's not nobody's fucking business what's going on. That's between them guys. They got an honor and a code that they run by. They are policing themselves and what they going through. Yes, is it sad? It definitely is. Do we feel because the young man had a bunch of kids? We definitely do. But even in that, you're not really supposed to be speaking on who beefing with who and who's this, who's that, because are you with them? You riding for them? You caping for them? You affiliated with them? Or are you neutral? Most people is neutral. You a neutron. You don't got no rap. You don't know about it. You didn't read no lit. You wasn't raised. Violations never are forgotten. And on site is on site. If you know about it, then you know. So a lot of that what's going on is just going on. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? And the culture will change. But preaching and screaming at people over the internet's not going to change it. You know, putting people in prison and taking their lives for years, that's not going to change it. What's going to change it is the black men who's there having a fair option, having job opportunities, having different opportunities to do different things and actually grow up. As they grow, then they will come back and teach the young bulls something different. And as they teach them, that's not the only way you got to handle things, bro. There's 1,000,001 ways you could get to the bottom of it. There's 100 ways you can handle this business. No, don't go in here saying that. No, don't put that in a song. No, don't claim this and claim that, because now you could be a domestic terrorist. Watch what you say when you say this or say that. There's a lot of different things, but they not going to listen to you. You don't come from there. You're not from there. And the way it's set up, you wasn't out here with me. You're not affiliated with me. You wasn't doing what I had to do. You wasn't there for me when we didn't have nothing. You wasn't there when niggas ran down. You wasn't there when shit went left. You wasn't there when the cops tried to fucking put something on me and my homies ran down and the cops got scared and they left me because they was about to hit me with a crazy charge. You wasn't there. This is my family. People always talk about the South and how the South works. It's like it takes a village. That's really what that mentality is. And inside of the village, you got warriors, and warriors have wars. And wars are fought. Some win, some lose. But a lot of guys, the way they see it is that they died being a warrior, so their name go up on the wall. Just how you go and look at you could go to a Vietnam, you could go to a war memorial, and you see all the names of people who died in these wars to protect America. To a lot of these guys, you could see all their names on the wall for them fighting the war to maintain their family and their family to keep going on and their people to keep going on in these treacherous places where nobody wants you to succeed except for you. And I could be honest and real and say that because I come from that cloth and that mentality where I had to make a move and make a transition because I just wanted to succeed in the way that my life was looking. I was going to die or be in jail. And I had made it my whole life. All I kept hearing was, by 21, you're going to be dead or be in jail. You're going to be dead or be in jail. I'm watching my homies get shipped off. I'm watching them go. I'm watching people die. I'm going to Job Corps. I come home. I go to Atlanta. I go to Florida. I go to Mississippi. I go to Indiana. I go to Detroit. I go to South Carolina. Like, I'm moving around the United States. What's familiar to me and my family, Mississippi, all these different places, and all roads lead back home. When I get back home, you have a duty to make sure your mom and your family is good. So if you come outside and you come out and some people standing in front of your aunt building, and she 40, 50 years old, and a young boy standing out there smoking weed, acting all crazy, and they don't want to let her come through, you're going to say, yo, what's up, bro? You don't see my aunt trying to slide through here, bro? Move out the way. So when somebody, oh, nigga, you should shut up, it's up from there. Because your aunt gotta be safe. And I'm not about to stand here or argue with you, bro. And you're not about to disrespect me over basic common sense and my family being safe. I'm out here trying to make sure your family's safe. But it's the young guys, this internet, feeling like they getting played, not having no men around, not really getting beat up and roughed up. You know what I mean? Lack of guidance, lack of order, lack of sticking to the literature. It's got to where it's at. And it's going to change, man. It's going to change. I really hope it changes before, soon, because Biden winning, Biden going to win. Donald Trump wasn't no president, bro. He wasn't no president, and Obama was from there. He was with the shits. That's how come that nothing changed. He knows the culture. He understand how it goes, so he ain't even put his hands in it. Then it's Donald Trump. Donald Trump ain't no politician, man. He trying to get money and chop checks down and live in infamy as the guy who turned America around. Joe Biden, lifetime politician. Joe Biden, history of being racist. Joe Biden made the crime bill, mandatory minimums, 3 strikes, 85% of your time. Took away rehabilitation for people who come home. You can't get no FAFSA, you can't get no Pell Grant, you can't get nothing. Made rehabilitation programs for drug addicts to make them stay drug addicts. Gave incentives to the states. I'll give you 3.7 to build these prisons, and then I'll give you an incentive to come up with more penalties to put bodies in these places. Kamala Harris, that's a judge who's already unfair sentencing black people. So I hope these young guys get it together, man. But it's just the way it goes, and you got to be very easy on how you talk about these things. I see a lot of people jumping off the roof, just saying all kinds of things for likes and views. And like I said, bro, one of the rules is violations are never forgotten. And on site is on site. When I see you, it's on right there and then and there. A lot of guys gotta relax, man. I don't know what it's like where y'all from. You know, when I came to Philly, it's a different culture. It's just a different culture. It's blocks. It's blocks and it's different. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same mentality, but it's blocks because there's so many people jammed in a small space. When you're talking about Atlanta and Chicago, same culture. Louisville, same culture. Kansas City, same thing. Milwaukee, same thing. Detroit, same thing. Saginaw, Michigan, same thing. Cincinnati, same thing. Cleveland, same thing. That's the Midwest. And really, that's where the gang started. You know, colors and all that shit made you think that it popped off out on the West Coast. You know what I mean? New York now, they got so much going on out there, and then the jails and different things. It'll make you think it was these guys. But remember, black people came up from the South through the Midwest, and then they followed the jobs to the West Coast, and they migrated to the East Coast. That's just kind of how it worked, man. So my advice, man, just pray for these guys. Say a prayer. Don't get out here talking all dumb, trying to say what they should and shouldn't do. You don't really know what they should and shouldn't do. Maybe they doing what they should do when you can't call the police, and the police attack your family and do all kinds of weird things to your family. And when you come from a city where allegedly they abducting kids for they fucking organs and all kinds of other weird shit, and you got government agencies allegedly dropping guns and drugs and all kinds of different things in your neighborhoods, like, you don't really know what it is right there. And so unless you really know, then only thing we could really say is that we hope that there gets some law and order in those situations, and them guys start to operate differently, that they live long enough to see that life is a blessing like I have. You live long enough to start having children and looking at your children and really appreciate moments, because moments are everything. This life can end any day, any moment, any second. So you gotta appreciate all these moments. You gotta appreciate every moment that makes you smile, makes you upset, makes you happy, pushes you, encourages you to do more. You gotta appreciate those things, and you know, that's all part of that mentality too. And you see these guys trying to live life and love life, but you know, it's an evolution of what it was when I was younger. Now it's on the phone. Now they smoking packs. Now they doing this. It was no different than just tagging the wall or tagging the bathroom or riding a specific bus and tagging the bus up to let people know you was around, and it's just evolved from there. And the phone is a problem. Social media is a problem. All these people gassing it up and in the comments talking super reckless is a problem. All these people listening to music and not really knowing the lyrics and understanding the lyrics, so they trying to repeat it and they trying to make the same style music using the same terminology. It's a problem, and all that shit is fueling the problem with very young guys, 16 to 25 years old, who is out here just trying to survive and make it out of a very bad situation that don't nobody give a fuck about. Because the reality is, all the presidents, you never hear them talk about the Midwest where these guys is from. How you think Donald Trump won the last time? Talking to blue-collar workers. Joe Biden ain't going out there talking about him. You ain't give a fuck about him. You ain't care about it. Most niggas gonna come in my comments trying to argue with me about LA and New York. I'm from the Midwest, bro. I don't give a fuck about that or that. That's why I don't ever really talk about that. Everything is about black people and growth. Fred Hampton, he was from Chicago. He was 21 years old, talking like that. That feeling and unhappiness with the government and the system, that's embedded in us black people from out there. Think all the people who come from there and why they be snapping, screaming, yelling, upset, affiliated, not taking no losses, not playing no games, always super serious. And notice they all in a very black mentality, because you have to be to succeed and survive from there. The courts is racist, more racist than any other place. It's documented. The state is corrupt. Second most corrupt state next to Louisiana. It's documented. What you expect black people to do? Just sit there and try to be model citizens while people kidnapping you, throwing you in prisons for the rest of your life? You just going to keep calling the ops to come police your neighborhood? Or you going to man up and do it yourself? But this is what happens when drugs get involved, money get involved, fame gets involved, misinformation gets involved, and then high power, high artillery, high power, military grade weapons are involved. This is what you get. When you get record labels that's gassing up and paying for and encouraging videos and different things, when you get guys like Vlad trying to get guys on there, putting their mom on there, asking them all kinds of questions, trying to put them on the spot about different things. Like, this why I ain't even gonna go there, man. It's O.T.G. It's Overtime Grind. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, man. Let me know how you feel in the comments, man. I'm about to get hype on y'all. I try to stay calm and stay in the cool tone. You know what I mean? But something very passionate to me. I'm from there. I got all these tattoos. I was one of them young guys at one point in time. You know what I mean? And now I'm a middle-aged guy. And I try to talk to these guys. I try to talk to y'all. I try to put back into the community and move my community forward. So I definitely feel some kind of way when I see people holding it back. Are we upset that people die? For sure. Are we tired of it? For sure. Are we tired of seeing guys go to jail? For sure. But there's a way it got to be done. And just rapping off at the mouth saying any fucking thing is not the way. And pouring gas on situations. Don't be upset when you see the fire and then act like you don't understand why you got burned, bro. And I'm not talking about them guys. I'm talking about the fans and labels and platforms and all these people. Everybody want to post rest in peace. Oh, it's so sad and this, that, and other. Y'all some lying ass niggas, bro. Cause y'all don't give a fuck about that young dude at all. Y'all don't give a fuck about none of them young niggas out there. Y'all just care about their music. You just want to bounce and rap and seem tough in the mirror when you're on your way to work. You ain't even really about that life. You're not really going to go outside and put it on the line for your own family. You're not going to put it on your line for your own self. A lot of y'all was scared not to vote, and we ain't even got nothing for our vote. Picture y'all trying to tell these young guys who's willing to go out here and lose their life for their family and stand on something, and you can't do it and you grown. We got nothing for our vote. Nothing. Out here dancing around talking about we changed America and we changed the country. Out here talking about it's a whole war going on. It's this, it's that. You don't know what's going on, man. You don't know what's going on. And you should stop talking about it. Point blank, period. You want it to stop talking about it. You want it to get better? Stop gassing it up in the comments. You know what I mean? Stop coming at people like me who try to tell you the truth of what it really is, trying to call me out my name and all kinds of weird shit for really giving you facts because you want to laugh at people dying and doing all kinds of stuff, and then when they die, feel fake concern. Like, we not buying it, man. We reject your deposit, bro. It's O.T.G.